Hey guys, welcome back to another Alaska Airlines trip report. Today I'll be taking flight 1048 to Los Angeles LAX on one of the rare non-ER 737-900s, one that sports a rather distinct eyebrowed cockpit. The Boeing 737-900 is the longest variant of the 737NG series. It is a very common aircraft type in the United States, making up a major portion of the fleets of Delta, United, and even Alaska Air. Most of the Dash 900s in existence are the extended range, or ER version, as over 500 of them have been built. However, the older, non-ER version of the 900 still exists, and airlines like United and Alaska have quite a few, but flying on a non-ER Dash 900 would still be quite unlikely, as only 52 have ever been built, which is why I was quite surprised to find out that my Seattle to LAX flight today would be operated by none other than one of those original, non-ER 737-900s, November 309 Alpha Sierra. And you know, when I found that out, I was really looking forward to this flight. I mean, these are literally the OG classic 737-900s, and they're kinda rare as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, where I'll be taking you viewers on board one of Alaska's older, non-ER 737-900s. Our gate for today will be D22, but on my way there I did some plane spotting. I got a good look at Alaska's North Satellite Concourse, where I flew out of earlier this year at night to Phoenix, actually on one of the newer ERs. And yeah, as usual, it's full of a bunch of Alaska 737s, as those make up most of their fleet. On my way to gate D22 though, I had no idea that it was actually a bus gate, nor did I know that Seattle Airport had bus gates at all. So it was a real surprise to see my gate area be a ground section of the airport. But yeah, it looks like we'll be taking a bus to our plane and boarding it from the outside. So in case you didn't know, this flight was part of my big summer South Pacific trip. This was the flight that got me to LAX so that I could start the journey to Australia via New Zealand. And yeah, that trip was taken with a massive tour group, which means I wasn't able to select my seat, so unfortunately I will not be at a window seat today. In addition, I figured I should mention that I had to mute most of the authentic background noise, as there was a ton of background talk. So yeah, in case you were wondering, that is why this video is edited differently than usual. Bus ride was very long, but eventually we got to our plane. We'll be on November 309 Alpha Sierra, a 22-year-old classic Boeing 737-900. This plane was built in 2001, making it one of the first Dash 900s to be built. Alaska was the launch customer of the 900, and they still have a lot of the planes from that bunch. As you can see, this particular Dash 900 has these eyebrows over their cockpit windows, and that's how you know this one's a classic. These only exist on older 737s and are therefore very rare on the 900 variant. Alaska is the only airline I know that has 900s like this. I actually saw another one of these a few months before this in Bozeman. That was November 303 Alpha Sierra, but that was even more of a rare sight, as it literally didn't have winglets. A Dash 900 without winglets is probably one of the rarest aviation sights there is nowadays. But as you can see, despite being one of the classics, 309 here has the split scimitar winglets. Still really cool to fly on this one though. I mean, this is still one of the rare non-ER 900s. If you're wondering what the differences are, the ER has increased range and capacity, and I guess that's why it became so much more popular than this one. Another thing you'll notice is that this one does not have a door plug like most 900s. This is the case for all the classic ones in Alaska's fleet, though I'm not so sure if that's specifically a non-ER thing. Other than that, when it comes to Alaska Air, you'll easily be able to tell which ones are the 900 classics, as their tail numbers will start with November 3 and end in Alpha Sierra. I am in seat 31C. Because this is an older Dash 900, we have the classic 737 interior, and as you can see, it is very different from the Sky interior that I saw on my Seattle to Phoenix flight, which you'll see on most of Alaska's 900s. When it comes to Alaska Air, you'd normally see this classic interior on the Dash 700s and most Dash 800s. The seats and the actual hard product, however, are pretty much the same throughout the 737 fleet. Seats are thin, but they have adjustable headrests, and they have really good legroom. For some reason, my seat had a giant crack above the seat pocket. It's nice they got easily accessible power outlets at each seat though. The literature stuff is in the top pocket. We got an info packet which has their buy on board stuff, the complimentary drink choice, partner airline, and entertainment info. Finally, we got the safety card and sickness bag. Alright, we got that done. Now it is time we push back from our remote stand and take off for LAX. I've seen the seat model enough to know that the tray table would be a decent size with 2 cup groves. Soon enough, complimentary service began. Alaska offers a massive drink choice, and I went for ginger ale. They also gave out pretzel snacks, which were very bland if you ask me. It's been like 7 months in between the time I actually took this flight and the time I uploaded this video, so I'm glad I finally got it done. Sorry if this video isn't as good as the usual ones due to me having to mute a bunch of background sound, also me not getting as much footage as I usually do. But yeah, this was yet another great flight with Alaska Air. Good crew, good legroom, and amazing in-flight entertainment. Really, my only complaints were about the not so great condition the seats were in, and the long bus ride to the remote stands, though that was mostly the fault of Seattle Airport and not the airline. And of course, flying on one of the OG 737-900s was a really cool experience. So overall a memorable flight. Final score for flight 1048 will be 7.9 out of 10.